Okay, my disclaimer for this is that I had a really crappy childhood. Um, that didn't mean I didn't have dreams, it's just that they're very hard to distinguish from everything else. Shit, crap is crap. But I suppose I should start from there anyway. Um, Probably the first childhood dream that I had is some way to express my creativity. As a kid growing up, always playing at recess or playing with thousands, if not millions, of Legos and stepping on them painfully. Uh, I always wanted to like be creative. Um, Always sucked at drawing, but I did it anyway. Uh, One of those few creative processes that I tried, but never really panned out. As I got older and more educated, uh, as I read into things more and learned more about the world, I felt that I could actually express myself with words. Um, I write quite often, as a habit, as a hobby. I have two, unfortunately, unfinished manuscripts that I will probably never finish just because I'm my own worst critic. Um, but that's what I do. Uh, Whether or not I actually get published or not, that's not so much the end goal. It's just a matter of, getting these thoughts and ideas out of my head and onto paper. Whether it's slaying monsters, saving, a whole race of people, saving the world, or destroying the world, redeeming a villain, who knows? It's just something that I like. Um, yeah, that's one of those things that stemmed from my childhood because it helped me get away from reality, and it just stuck with me. Always has. Um, let's see. Second one. Probably this has a lot to do with like my childhood as well, but as abstract as it is, I wanted to be happy. Um, and I know it's that abstract John Lennon idea of, what do you want to be when you grow up, but it was a huge thing for me. Um, I didn't have the most supportive of a supporting cast, so to speak, because it was just all conflict. My life has changed drastically since then, but I always felt that I was always in the middle and always being told what to do. I didn't really have a lot of um, time or place to think for myself or act for myself. So I wasn't really given a lot of leeway on that. At least that's what I was cultured to think. You know, being told do this, do that, not what do you want to do. It wasn't until much later in life that I actually realized that, and that's when I started to actually have my own ambitions for other worldly things. But being happy was always one of those things that's always been there. Um, and it kind of sucked. I was always, you know, never really the center of attention because I wanted the attention. I wasn't that kind of person who was like, I need people to see me because of all this stuff. Kids act out, but I was much more reclusive than I should have been. And that one I know that I'm still working on, but I've learned a lot about what it takes to be happy, about um, having good habits and such, having a good outlook on life and all of that. It all works well, but a lot of the practice involved, uh, unless you're indoctrinated to it, unless you're cultured to it from a very early age, it's very hard to get used to. But I'm still working at it. you know, just being comfortable with who I am, being accepted by others for who I am, not for who they want me to be. That's always something that's always been up there on the list. And it's working out fairly well. Um, yeah, it's very abstract, but I'm a very abstract kind of person. Um, Also, from a fairly young age, um, I learned about my own mortality, my own uh, timeline, so to speak. Uh, Even as in grade school, um, and since I've been to so many family funerals, loss of loved ones, and all that stuff. And I also learned fairly early on about my own individual mortality based on my family's health history and such like that. So, one of the things that has always been on my mind in terms of what you would call lifelong planning is planning a legacy. And that's the one I'm easily having the hardest time with because even at my age right now, I'm very close to feeling that pull on me. Um, I had issues get brought up not too long ago, well, fairly well, a while ago, about 10 years ago. And there's always been that kind of scare of my mortality just kind of hanging over me, aside from like the chaos of the world, getting in a car accident or something like that, I also had this health issues in my family that's just like, oh, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. And then my own health issues started showing up, and they're like, this is new, but this could happen. So having a legacy to leave behind was something that's always been on my mind, but I have no idea what I would do. I have no idea how I would apply that. Because I don't want to leave a legacy for the world at large. Because I want to leave a legacy for people who want that to be a legacy. I want it to mean something that for the people who look into it, Like, just a journal or something like that that's just buried in a pile of books that somebody can read and find meaning in, whoever it is, whether it be a stranger or my family, decades from now. But it's just something that's always been on my mind, and really don't know how to address it. I mean, I spend a lot of my time just trying to live in the moment and live life as I can, you know. But actually leaving something behind, it's something that's really taking a lot of thought and investment on, and doing what I can, I guess. It's one of those ambiguous things that I'll find out that I've achieved it after I've achieved it, And that's it.